There was fear on Flint's streets. A man was stabbing men, mostly black, who were walking late at night or early in the morning on major roadways. By August 4, 2010, 5 men were dead. Another 9 had been attacked but survived, all since late May, the worst killing spree in the city's history. Local police departments, the state police and the FBI formed a task force and put out the word a serial killer was on the loose. A survivor's description of the attacker provided police with a composite sketch, which was released August 6. Some of the surviving victims described the green over gold SUV the attacker drove. The description of the attacks and the SUV, publicized by the media, brought word of 3 more similar attacks in Virginia and another in Ohio in early August. The killer who was stalking Flint men also was hunting elsewhere. The sketch, the details on the SUV and news of other attacks produced a call to a hotline set up by the task force naming a man who worked at a Beecher Party store, and had ties to Virginia. That man, a 33-year-old Israeli named Elias Abuelazam, was sitting in an Atlanta airport at 10 p.m. August 11, 2010, waiting to board a plane back to his native country. Moments before he was to board that plane, authorities arrested him. Elias Abuelazam was born in August 28, 1976. He is a convicted murderer, and suspect of racial serial killing and multiple stabbings. He is suspected in a string of 18 stabbing attacks in the spring and summer of 2010 which resulted in 5 deaths. Most of the attacks occurred in Genesee County, Michigan, particularly in and around Flint. 4 stabbings occurred outside of Michigan, 3 in Leesburg, Virginia and another in Toledo, Ohio. Elias is also suspected in an unsolved March 2009 homicide in Leesburg. All of his alleged victims were described as small-framed, short, thin, non-muscular men, most of them African Americans. During the investigation, Michigan media dubbed him the Genesee County Serial Slasher, or alternately the Genesee County Serial Stabber. Elias was 6 feet 5 inches and weighed 280 pounds, 130 kilograms, at the time of his booking. Elias has been convicted in one of the murders, that of 49-year-old Arnold Miner in Flint, Michigan, which occurred on August 2, 2010. He is currently serving a sentence of life imprisonment without the possibility of parole for that crime. As a result, Genesee County prosecutors have announced Elias will not stand trial for the other crimes in their jurisdiction, nor will authorities in Toledo or Leesburg try him. He is currently incarcerated at the Ionia Maximum Correctional Facility in Ionia, Michigan. Elias was born in central Israel and has Israeli citizenship. He grew up in a well-to-do Christian family in the city of Ramla, Israel. He later moved to the United States, having acquired a green card. However, he is not an American citizen. Until 2008, Elias worked at a psychiatric facility in Leesburg, Virginia, as a mental health technician. He worked as a clerk at King Water Market in Beecher, Michigan from July 5 to August 1, 2010. Most customers knew him as Eli. He was cited for giving alcohol to a minor on July 29, the same day a 59-year-old man was stabbed in Flint, Michigan. His legal address is in Bradenton, Florida, according to the warrant. He previously lived in Michigan, according to Michigan Secretary of State records. He most recently lived in a house that his uncle owns located on Maryland Avenue near Regal Avenue on the east side of Flint, Michigan. Elias married Jessica Hirth on July 30, 2004. His former mother-in-law, Kimberly Hirth, said her daughter and Elias met in Texas while he was visiting cousins there. Kimberly said she was shocked and that Elias was a nice person. His former father-in-law Jim Hirth said he was shocked too. Jim Hirth also said that Elias verbally abused his daughter. Elias and Jessica divorced in 2007. In total, he was married twice. His ex-wife Jessica of Arlington, Texas, said that she was shocked at the news of his crimes. Police and prosecutors claim Elias would drive around late at night, approach men who were walking alone, ask for directions or help fixing his vehicle, and then stab them. His alleged victims have been mostly black, and police in Leesburg suspect the attacks may have been racially motivated. Elias is also suspected of having stabbed a friend in the face with a screwdriver while on a visit to his family in Ramla, Israel in early 2010. Police did not pursue the case because the friend refused to press charges. Leesburg police have said Elias is also a suspect in an unsolved homicide from March 2009. In Genesee County, the announcement that a string of stabbings in the Flint area that date back to May was the work of one man came on August 4, 2010. The next week on August 9, police in Leesburg connected 3 stabbings there via their victims' descriptions of the suspect, his vehicle, and his mode of operation. That same day a multi-jurisdictional full-time task force was set up in Genesee County. The next day Toledo police claimed a stabbing there also matched the suspect. He was arrested August 5 in Arlington, Virginia, during a traffic stop. He was taken into custody because he had a warrant out for his arrest for simple assault and later released on personal bond. Elias was arrested by U.S. Customs and Border Protection officers on August 11 at 10 p.m. in Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport, while preparing to board a Delta Airlines flight bound for Tel Aviv. On August 13 he waived his right to fight extradition to Michigan. His family has hired Lansing-based attorneys. He was flown to Flint on August 26 and lodged in the Genesee County Jail. Elias is being held in solitary confinement, likely for his safety and because he is suspected of extremely violent crimes. At his arraignment, he was ordered held without bond by the judge, even after the prosecutor asked for $10 million bail. During the evidentiary hearing for the Arnold Minor murder case, the judge ruled that evidence of the other Genesee County attacks could be used in the trial. The trial began on May 8, 2012. The prosecution's key piece of evidence was Minor's blood on a pair of pants found in Elias Abuelazam's luggage. On May 15, the prosecution rested after calling 50 witnesses, including other victims and their relatives, several forensic experts, as well as Elias Abuelazam's uncle who assisted police in his capture. 2 days later on May 17, his attorneys presented an insanity defense. Their sole witness was a psychiatrist hired by his attorneys who diagnosed him with paranoid schizophrenia and said Elias told him he committed the crimes because of evil spirits. The doctor also said Elias told him he attempted suicide in 1997 and was diagnosed as psychotic by an Israeli psychologist in 2009. The prosecution responded by attacking the psychiatrist's credibility, noting that his field of expertise is drug and alcohol addiction treatment. The next day, the prosecution refuted the psychiatrist's diagnosis with 2 of their own mental health experts. 2 psychologists who testified on behalf of the prosecution agreed that although Elias has an unspecified personality disorder and he lacked empathy, his attacks were too planned out and organized for him to be considered legally insane. On May 22, 2012, after only an hour of deliberation, the jury found Elias guilty of Minor's murder. On June 25, 2012, he was sentenced to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole.